Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidina wa Nabiyana Habibillahi Rabbil Alameen bil Qasim al-Mustafa Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to the fragrance of the month of Ramadan. If you may recall, we were looking at the hadith of the Prophet, which was talking about the mirath, the heritage of fasting, or the benefits of fasting, or what one achieves from fasting. This hadith is known as Hadith Mi'raj. When Prophet ascended to the heaven, God spoke to the Prophet and then he asked him, "O Prophet, do you know what is the heritage, or what do you achieve by fasting?" The Prophet says, "No." قال لا, I don't know. And then Allah says, the mirath as-sawm, the miras of sawm, of fasting, is eating less. When a person fasts, he eats less. Then after that, when he eats less, he speaks less. When he speaks less, he will be provided with hikmat. So that means a person who wants to achieve hikmat, he should speak less. If he speak less, he will have hikmat. Now obviously, speaking less doesn't mean that if someone asks you a question, or if someone is trying to get in connection with you, trying to speak to you, but you kind of frown yourself, or you turn your face away, or you don't speak to them. This doesn't mean speaking less. Obviously, speaking less means that a person must try to avoid unnecessary vain talks. A person starts speaking, he connects one thing to the other, then one thing to the other, one thing to the other. They are speaking about fasting. He would say, "Yes, I remember last year I provided an iftar in the masjid. Oh, that year when I provided an iftar, my family had died somewhere in some other place in that country. Oh, that country." Just keep on going from one branch to the other. Allama Tabatabai was asked that how one should really concentrate in prayers, how one should have focus in their prayers, in their salat. He said, speak less, because when a person is speaking a lot, he is going from one branch to the other. As he goes from one branch to the other, his tamarkuz, his focus is lost, and he is getting into this habit of having less concentration span. Well, if someone asks me today how to concentrate in prayers, I would say, watch television less. Watch television less. What do I mean by that? Particularly if you look at the cartoons, what we are doing with our children, or the AdWords, the AdWords, the advertisement, right? The commercials that are there. Every 1/10 of a second, they change the visual, picture that you're seeing. In cartoon as well, very quickly. The span of changing pictures is very quick. So when you're watching that, your concentration is sort of like, it weakens. You cannot concentrate on one thing. Right now, for example, you're watching me on the TV. It's pretty blend. It's a monotone. I'm speaking, same person, same turban, same sort of screen in the back, and I'm speaking to you. Now when you're used to watching screen changing quickly, you will not be able to focus on what I'm saying right now, because it's one screen and it's a monotone type of thing, right? What I'm delivering will not be achieved by you, because you have lost that. So the same way, when a person speaks, he goes from one branch to the other, his concentration span he loses it. Perhaps that's the reason why Allama Tabatabai Marhum mentions that, speak less. Now, we said speaking less doesn't mean that you should have a bad akhlaq. You're not speaking. People are trying to speak with you, people are trying to get in touch with you, people are engaging with you, but you're not engaging with them. That's not right. Speaking less should be well calculated. When a person says something, he should calculate that. He should really know that, what he is saying. So speaking less will bring about wisdom. And as Allah says in the Quran, that if Allah gives wisdom to someone, He has given khayr kasir. He has given him khair. He has given him khair. He has given him good. Good is given to him if hikmat is provided to him. Hazrat Luqman was provided with wisdom. He was a wise, Luqman the wise, he's known as. So, speaking less will give hikmat. What is the result of hikmat? Is marifat, is understanding, is knowing. Then when a person have marifat, he will have yaqeen. When he will have yaqeen, he would care less how his morning is, whether he is in a state of kayf, in the state of joy and happiness, or whether he is in a state of sadness. It doesn't really matter to him, because he has reached to the state of pleasure. Maqam, fahada maqam ar-radin. Those who are pleased with God, they have reached to the point, even if they are suffering, they don't really care. Even if they are happy, they don't really care. Now, not caring doesn't mean that they are not suffering, that they are not having pain. No, they are having pain. Not caring when good is given to them and when they are having fun doesn't mean that they care less, they are careless. No, they are having fun, they are really having fun. They are having pain, they are really having pain. That means they know that pain, and it is really painful. The more painful it is, the more tasty that would be for them. They have reached to the marifat of pain. You see, one philosophical point. A child who goes through circumcision at that age, 7 days as it's recommended. So he's circumcised at the day 7. What marifat, what understanding of the pain the child have? A person who converts to Islam, he becomes a Muslim, he's been asked, he's supposed to go for Hajj, as it is wajib that a person, when he goes to Hajj, he must be circumcised. Now, circumcision for a 30-year-old, what pain he would go through in terms of the mental torture and the physical as well. For that child, what is pain? So therefore, a person who have great marifat of God, of existence, of wujud, of existence, of his being. A child, how much of knowledge does he have of existence, of his being, of what his likes and dislikes? A 30-year-old, how much of understanding he has of his likes and dislikes? There's a major difference there. And this difference is because of the marifat, is because of the understanding. So the more a person have the understanding, knowledge of his being, of wujud, the tough and the greater and the most painful that thing becomes. Having said that, when that becomes most painful, that becomes most pleasuresome as well, if it is in the way of God. Imam Hussein, a being who knows all being inside out. There is no spot on his ma'rifat and on his understanding, on all planes. Amirul Mu'mineen, there is no scratch on his ma'rifat of existence. Brothers and sisters, touch, pain. When a person with spiritual capacity, he shakes hand with you, the feeling that he has by shaking hand, even that physical feeling, is very different than you and I shaking hand with each other or with any others. When, for example, Ayatollah Bahjat, when we kiss his hand, when he touches us, for example, when we want to kiss his hand, when we used to go shake his hand, he feels my wujud inside out when he touches me. Is that wujud a flower, or is that wujud a thorn? Now, if it is a flower, he feels it, he is thankful of God. If that wujud is a thorn, for example, when I shake his hand, he feels the pinch. He feels it and he prays for me that may he become a flower. So it's a very deep philosophical reality I'm pointing out to here. When we are saying that a person who does tawakkul on God, a person who doesn't care whatever happens, that doesn't mean that he is a careless person. He is the most caring person on earth. But he doesn't care because this is from God, because he knows what that is, because he's tasting the lazzat, he's having the taste of that pain. When Amirul Mu'mineen was struck by that sword on his forehead, he felt it. It was very painful. Very painful. Right? But what did he utter? Fusto bi Rabbil Kaaba. By the Lord of the Kaaba, I was successful. Because he did not care and he did not feel pain. The pain from the worldly point of view, that I scratch myself, I said, right? It's a loss. I have lost it. It was my hand. I was doing something. Na'uzubillah, may Allah protect all of the mu'mineen and mu'minat from accidents. They are doing something. Some are butchers, bichare, they work in the butcher shop. They are doing that blade. It's so difficult. May Allah protect their hands, protect them. Some people are, in the war front protecting the harams of Masumeen alayhi salam, Mudafi'an haram. May Allah protect them. They are right in front of those bullets, of those Wahhabis, of those Salafis, of those ISIS terrorists. May Allah protect them, right? A person who is working, something happens, he breaks his finger. For example, it's decapitated, it's gone. He says, oh my God, it's gone, it's gone, it's gone. But there is another person who is known as Janbaz. Janbaz means that a person who have given his life in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If his hands are gone, Allah says, I will provide wings to, Jafar Tayyar, by which he will fly in the heaven. Abul Fazl Abbas, his hands were gone. Did he feel anything? He didn't feel anything. How beautiful the poet have said. May Allah protect the poet as well. His name is Aghais Sarosh. His poetry in Urdu. He says that You know, when the hands were severed of Hazrat Abul Fazl Abbas, he did not feel any pain. Nothing happened to him. He was moving forward with that water skin for Sakina. The next hand, he didn't feel anything. But once that water skin was pierced by an arrow, that is the time Abbas felt the pain. You see? So if it is gone in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the pain is there. But that pain is lazat, is beautiful. Right? I had mentioned this earlier on one of the television. You have the amal of Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, where you do the whole Quran. You know, every verse you say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. On every verse you do that till the Surah Nas. When you start doing that amal, your finger start to feel the pain. Eventually, your finger will have no feeling. And then afterward, it starts to come back and it will hurt you and it will give you pain. But that pain is so lazzat bakhsh, is so tasty. You enjoy that pain because you have said Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim on every verse of the Quran. Very powerful amal, right? So when we are saying that they care less, that means that they are not careless. They are the most caring, right? And when they are enjoying, yes, they are having full 100% enjoyment at the same time, because in that this sits on their wujud. You know, a person who is, for example, you know, a child who is fed, you know, cereal, right? He is given cereal, wheat cereal, a bit of fruit cereal, a bit of maybe mixed fruit, maybe a bit of boiled potatoes and vegetables. How much of a taste does he really know? But a 60-year-old is given different types of food. You know, I don't want to take names of the food now, as it is, you know, we are all fasting, and especially those who are watching, if they are fasting, you know, at this hour they will feel really hungry. You know, if I give him Hyderabadi biryani, bagare baigan, you know, samosas, all of these different food, he knows the taste. He could differentiate between different types of biryanis, different types of mangoes. You know, this mango name is Alfonso, that mango name is Chausa, that mango, and he knows the taste of it. And even in that, he knows the best, which is the best, right? So it sits on the marifat. It sits on the knowledge that a person have. If he has greater marifat of God, greater marifat of wujud, of existence, he will have the best in pleasure, and at the same time he will have the best of pain as well. A pain that is best in the sense that it gives him, that it is in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So a person who fasts, he will eat less. If he eat less, he will speak less. If he speaks less, he will be given marifat. If he is given marifat, he will be provided with yaqeen. If yaqeen is provided to him, he would care less. And when he cares less in goods, at the time of good, at the time of turmoils, then he will achieve the maqam of ar-radin, the pleasure ones of God, those who are pleased with God. فَمَنْ أَمَلَ بِالرِّضَى, the Prophet says, Allah says, Alzama, a person who has been provided with rida, he will be given three qualities. This is where we stopped last time. A shukr, thanking God without any ignorance. Number two is zikr, which we missed. Zikr without any forgetfulness. A person, this is what we've missed last week, he will be given zikr, remembrance of God, without being forgetful. That means he will always remember God. he would always remember God. He will never forget God. The topmost of it is no one but Mawlai Muttaqiyan, Amirul Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib, where he says that before everything, after everything, with everything, I have seen God. Seeing God means doing the zikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, nothing else. That's why when that sword went on the forehead of Amirul Mu'mineen, on the head of Amirul Mu'mineen, he says, Fustu bi Rabbil Kaaba, that by the Lord of the Kaaba I have been successful. So here he will be provided with zikr without any forgetfulness. He will be always remembering. And the third thing, three qualities. One is shukr, without any ignorance. Number two is zikr, without any forgetfulness. Number three is muhabbat. Muhabbat, love, without any love or overwhelmed with other makhluqeen. The love of God, the love that he will have for God will not be overpowered by any other love. Now here the hadith continues, فَإِذَا حَبَّنِي, when I will provide him with that, I will make sure that he is loved by the makhluqeen as well. When I love him, I will give him that love, he will love me, and this love that he would have will not be overpowered by any other makhluqeen love. Now when he loves me, I will love him. When I love him, I will make the whole creation love him, Hussein, Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. Can you say anyone who does not love Hussein? Even the enemies love Hussein. Even the enemies, they love Hussein, right? So therefore, Ibn Muljim the same way, Muawiyah the same way. If you look at it, Amirul Mu'mineen, the sort of respect and honor, the likeness that they have for these qualities, they're like really fascinating, right? So Allah says that فَإِذَا حَبَّنِي, when I love him or her, then حَبَّبْتُ, all of the creation will start loving him. Then وَأَفْتَحْ, and then I will open his heart to the jalal and azmat of mine, to my sovereignty, to my greatness. His eyes will be open. The eye of the heart will be open for him. And then he would see. He would see. And I will not hide from him. I will not hide from him any knowledge in regards to the creation. He will be aware of each and everything. It's kind of like feeds on each other. It kind of supports each other. When I have the knowledge of each and everything, then that means I have the pleasure of each and everything, right? As we were discussing earlier. So he will be provided with the knowledge of each and everything. I think I remember I mentioned this earlier. Sayyid Qazi Tabatabai was the teacher of Allama Tabatabai, and here I think we have to really cut our program here because we have another program that begins right away, and we will continue the story of Sayyid Qazi Tabatabai in our next program in relation to that the knowledge of everything will be provided by God to that individual who he loves. And this really started with fasting. We are doing the hadith of Miraj of fasting. The hadith of Miraj of fasting. Thank you very much. غفر الله لنا ولكم وتقبل الله أعمالكم والسلام عليكم جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته.